Will Skylanders ever come back, and if it does, when will this be? Today, I'm going to pretty much go over all my thoughts on when Skylanders will come back, if it even ever will, and based on some of what Activision's been doing, and Microsoft and all that, and based on current game trends, and Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and all that, where I think Skylanders stands, and if it will come back, if there's any hope left for this franchise. Now, obviously, there hasn't been a new Skylanders game in 8 years at this point. Imaginators came out like it came out what, 2016, so it has been almost 8 years. I guess it came out in the later half of 2016, so obviously it hasn't been a full 8 years yet, but it was 8 years ago at this point, so it has been a very long time since a new Skylanders game came out. So would it make sense for them to just drop a new game out of nowhere? Probably not. I don't think that's very realistic. I don't think that's something that would happen, but I do think they could take a couple of steps that would lead them in the right direction. Obviously, Activision acquiring Microsoft was definitely a big sort of glimmer of hope for the Skylanders community. This happened a couple of years ago at this point, and I think this was something that a lot of people put like a lot of faith in. They were like, oh, Microsoft has way more money, you know, they'll put the time and the effort in to bring Skylanders back, but really that wasn't the point of them acquiring Activision. They did that to get Call of Duty, obviously, but they do own Skylanders now, so is it possible for them to do anything with it in the future? Well, this depends on one thing, I think, and that is a game that hasn't even come out, and I don't know if it will come out, and that is Spyro 4. I think the Spyro Reignited trilogy was something very similar to Skylanders and something very similar to what I want to see from Skylanders. I think I want a Skylanders Reignited or Remastered trilogy of the first couple of games, or the first 3 games, I guess, and this would be the best way to bring it back. But this is exactly what they did with Spyro. They, reignited, remastered the first 3 games. They look absolutely beautiful, and I think they were really fun. I played these, and I had a great time playing these games when I played the Spyro Ignited trilogy. But the thing is, did Spyro 4 ever come out? No, it didn't. Will it come out? Possibly, but at this point it's been so long that I really don't know if it's gonna come out. And if it does come out and it succeeds, then I think that would pretty much tell Activision and Microsoft that the next best step for them is to do the same thing with Skylanders, because there's so many Skylanders fans that want a new game. Anytime there's a new leak or rumor about a potential Skylanders remaster, which these are all pretty much fake, there are tons of fake leaks all the time, but when these do surface, there is so much hype generated around this. Like, large media sources and large YouTubers will make videos breaking this down, and they will make content about this, covering it, because it is such a big deal, because there is still desire for Skylanders to come back. People still want this game franchise back. It's not something that's been left in the dust and forgotten about. So I think that's why, if Activision and Microsoft notice this, there's a chance. And if Spyro 4 does well, this would pretty much pave the way for a Skylanders remaster, and then a Skylanders 7, which they probably wouldn't call Skylanders 7. They would probably just call it whatever. I mean, they never really were called, Skylanders 1, 2, 3, 4. They all had their different subtitles, so they'd probably just make another one in the franchise, which is exactly what I want. But I think the best option, if Spyro Reignited trilogy came out and then they made Spyro 4 and that succeeded, I think then the next best thing for Skylanders would be for that to go for Crash Team Rumble, which is basically a MOBA which has a bunch of Crash characters, but Spyro is also in that game. I think it is pretty realistic to have a Skylanders character join that game, and then that would pretty much put them back out there. This would get a lot more people to notice them, and I think there's a chance that if that happens and people like it and people think this is a good idea and people think it's a cool concept being able to play as their favorite Skylanders again, then I think Activision would notice this and they would make a Skylanders remaster. And if that did well, obviously this would pave the way to a Skylanders 7, which is exactly what everyone wants. I mean, the Skylanders remaster would be great, but it's like, I've been playing the same games for so long at this point, so if they didn't make some drastic change with them, then I'm not sure how into it I would be, how much I would love it, but it would still be cool and amazing to get something new for Skylanders, even if it's just a remastered trilogy from the first 3 games. But what I want the most is obviously a Skylanders 7. But I think the only way to get to that is by first getting a Skylanders remaster. Now, when do I think all this will happen? I think if a Skylander got added to Crash Team Rumble, it would either happen in 2024 or 2025. If it doesn't happen then, I don't think it's going to ever happen, and then Skylanders might just fall off the face of the planet. I mean, obviously I'm joking, but I think it would be much harder for Skylanders to make any sort of resurgence if this didn't happen in the next couple of years, including this year and next year, obviously. But if this did happen and Skylanders were introduced into Crash Team Rumble, people like them, I think a Skylanders remaster would make sense if it came out in 2027 and got announced in 2026. 2026 is going to be the 15-year anniversary of Spyro's Adventure, 10-year anniversary of Skylanders Imaginators. Perfect time to announce a new Skylanders remaster if people enjoyed having Skylanders in Crash Team Rumble. And this was set up for a 2027 release day, which I still think is the best time to have a remaster. And then I think a few years after that is when a new Skylanders game could have come out. And what the Skylanders game would be, I'm not sure. I think this could be anything. It could be all digital. I'm not sure. That is a topic for another video. I will probably make what I think the next Skylanders game will be and what I would want out of the next Skylanders game, because those are two completely different things. What I'd want Skylanders 7 to be like and what I think Skylanders 7 will end up being like, because yeah, they're very different. I want figures, but they're probably not going to make figures, so who knows. But I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me what you guys think about Skylanders and where it will go from here, and if it has any hope of coming back. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.